So before I came out, I took about a gram of shrooms, and I've been taking for a few days about half a gram because I've got like several grams left and they're old, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not gonna do them again. I've got the better stuff at this moment in time. And there's a field a quarter of a mile away from where I live which usually gives up copious amounts of the variety that we're looking for. And so the stuff I've got, which is 2 or 3 years old, 4 years old maybe, not that potent, so I thought, well, I'll just microdose them. So anyway, today I thought, I just poured a load into my palm, and about a gram, and forgot about it. And then when I'm walking down the road, I'm thinking, I feel weird today. I'm like, why is that? Because there was an aura of spring in the air. The birds are singing again, the sun's shining, it's warm, damn it. And everything's in foliage. And I'm like, all of a sudden it's like a midsummer's day again. And then I started to enter into the woods. And again, I'm noticing that I'm feeling weird. And it's kind of like, you took them shrooms, you muppet. I'm like, oh yeah. And so now I've started to notice lots of fungi, small fungi. I won't bore you with the intricacies of it as yet. Do you want boring? Shall I bore you? No, not yet. But yeah, look at this. Don't you just love it when the trees have fallen down? You see, this is a completely natural wood, and these woods are actually out of bounds for people, because on a windy day all these rotten trees come crashing down. And so they decided, the government in their infinite wisdom, or the local council, to prevent people from coming in these places, because they don't consider that we're adult enough to make our own decisions. That if it's really windy, probably best not go into one of these creaking old woods. The stupidity of people in governments. Now, there's a plant down here, and I don't know whether it's wild carrot, because there's lots of these plants that look very similar, but some of you might know. It's got this whole hemlock thing going on. The leaves are exactly the same as hemlock, and they're also very similar to cow parsley. So you have to be very careful. It could be cow parsley. Yeah, but it's difficult to tell until it's a fully formed plant. So onwards we go, people. Feeling a bit weird. But what is this weird feeling that we feel on shrooms? Well, we feel a level of connection with spirit and Gaia, and you lose the attachment of suburbia. You come into your mind, and the mind doesn't really open until you come back into the natural world, and that's a curious thing. See, when I'm walking down the street and I'm on shrooms, then it's all in my mind, I'm feeling a little bit weird and this, that and the other, but then when you come into the woods, you still feel weird, of course, but then your consciousness opens up. And as to why this is, it's a phenomenon. But these natural mushrooms, entheogens, they belong here, they live here. It is the spirit of the woods. And all pagans throughout millennia would have known about entheogens in some variety or other. And that's why effigies and folklore emerged for things like the Green Man, elves and nymphs and gnomes and all different sorts of things like that, which you can read stories about people from hundreds of years ago where people swear blind that they saw them, and they don't mention they were taken anything. But I do know when I was in Tenerife and I was walking through a very curious wooded area where all these trees were draping with like long yellow beards. I think the colloquial name is beard tree, something like that. And you know, they're not that prolific, but you do get them in lots of places over the world. And there was an aura of elves and gnomes and fairies and goblins, and I felt it thick in the air. And I'm shivering and goose pimpling just recalling that now. And I was thinking, wow, I would have certainly done shrooms there and gone into a different world. And everywhere I looked, there were faces in the trees and, you know, in the bark and in the stumps. And it was a living environment, many years old, undisturbed, you know. And you have to have these undisturbed regions to encounter the spirit. So, don't you just love things like this? How that beautiful moss is glistening fluorescently in the sun. And then when you look at trees which have just cracked and given over, but still struggling on to survive. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to feel anything from those shrooms, but most certainly I'm feeling it. I'm with it. And you know, the thing is about DMT, which of course shrooms has DMT in them. It gives you this feeling. It's kind of like a little bit melancholy. It's a little bit sad sometimes. And I don't know why that is. Because DMT gives you, when you take it, smoking it just fills you full of love and joy. But shrooms, I don't know about you guys, but they make me very pensive and, you know, marginally melancholy. You tend to dwell about your humanism and, you know, past loved ones, and you can feel a little bit insecure. And you might feel that the woods are just a tinge sinister. And I suppose this is why we have had this level of depiction throughout all folklore, and even in modern movies we get depictions of nefarious woodlands, nefarious trees and nefarious spirits. I don't feel a nefarious spirit. I just feel like an age-old melancholy. Just a hint. Not, you know, nothing like depression or anything like that. I'm going to give that more thought because I'd like to see if I can get to the bottom of what that is. Maybe it's my spirit. Maybe it's not the spirit of the forest. Maybe my spirit is a little bit melancholy, carrying the lamentations of 61 years of life. And when we become very embossed in the mushroom, then that's just the facet it brings up. But I do know that for many years the mushrooms always used to tell me the stuff that I shouldn't be doing and the stuff that I should be doing more of. And it, used to guilt trip me. That's what mushrooms do, they guilt trip you. But what I've started to do in these last occasions, taking the mushrooms, I've asked them, I say, listen, I don't want this guilt trip anymore. I don't want you to, provide me with 1,000 lamentations. I don't want to feel this lament about the past. I don't want to feel any imposing doom about the future. I want you to show me joy. I want you to show me vital life spirit that fills me full of vitality, which smoking DMT does. After the initial So the Japanese have a thing called forest bathing, where they walk out in groups without speaking, and they're in a walking meditation, and they'll stop to eat some simple foods for a picnic, and they won't speak, and they'll just listen and look and keep that vibration, because if you're walking in a wood with somebody, the presence of them takes your presence out of the now. So you can't enjoy or even immerse yourself in this thing at all with other people. You have to do it alone. And so this is why that I'm going to turn off this camera, and I'm going to be with it 100%, observing, feeling, just look at how it does its stuff. Look at this bridge here. So there's many examples of this throughout this whole wood, and albeit it's not a big wood, because it's been, what can you say, it says prohibited to enter, and people listen to that. Someone said it's not allowed to go in there. It doesn't say by law. This is the thing. It just says no admittance or prohibited area. And people, they shy away from that. But, I will never shy away from anything, even if it is law. Whose law? What law? Is it Gaia's law? No, it's not. Is it cosmic consciousness's law? No. So be gone, silly pink ape, telling me what's law. Fools. Fools they are. So yeah, it's beautiful to hear different birds in this wood. I can hear a robin up there, tick tick tick, tick tick tick, that's a robin. But I heard a strange bird earlier which I'd never heard before, didn't know what that one was. And so yeah, I'll let you know what I find, people. Feeling the groove. Are you feeling the groove? When's the last time you felt the groove? Oh, you breathe that damp, fusty air. You feel the agedness and the stillness of trees. And because there's no wind, everything is still. All the stinging nettles are still. And then there's a very, very slight little movement which communicates with you, which says hello. And you go, hello. Oh, hi. And then one stinging nettle will have one leaf going like this. Hello, 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 look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. All the other leaves are pretty still. And that one's like, hello. He's kind of like, hello. Are you happy to see me? I'm happy to see you too. Okay, so I'll walk with you a little bit more. Because it's so interesting. It's so intriguing. It's so beguiling. And, you know, woods, even if you're not taking anything, they have a funny effect on the psyche. Your psyche will start thinking all different sorts of things. And in recent times, I've been speaking a lot about spirits. And, you know, you can just imagine that there are all these fairies and things around here. Why wouldn't there be? Why shouldn't there be? There's so much going on in this cosmos we don't know about, people. And you know, there's no smoke without fire, as they say. And so with all these people all over the world forever speaking about spirits, folklore and all that different sort of thing, well, it would be very wise to pay attention and to see when we have moments of silence alone, what manifests in our minds. Beautiful, huh?